PNC News First is presented by the Bank of Guam, the People's Bank, Pizza Hut. We're taking pizza to where it's never been before. Taco Bell, the only place where you live Moss. Guam Auto Spot. Colgate, the #1 brand recommended by dentists. And IT&D, Life in Motion.
PNC News First. Broadcasting live in high definition from Tumon, Guam on KEQI and KTGM and on KPPI on Saipan. Here is your PNC News team.
Hafaday and good evening and welcome to PNC's News First. We're live from the Broadcast Center Akanta. I'm Janella Carrera.
And I'm Clint Rigel. Thanks for tuning in. Topping your news first tonight. An inmate at the Department of Corrections Manila compound was discovered dead in his cell this morning. The inmate, whose identity has not been released, was housed in Post 3 and was allegedly alive at 5:30 this morning. However, just 30 minutes later, DOC Director Tony Lamarena states the inmate was discovered unresponsive by DOC officers.
He was housed at our medical facility. He was getting medical treatment. He was in the cell by himself. Nurse was immediately called, Guam Fire was called, GPD was called.
According to Lamarena, a DOC GMH physician assessed the inmate at the scene and declared the inmate deceased, further saying that preliminary reports suggest that the inmate died of natural causes. The scene was released and cleared by GPD.
Another public safety agency is calling for the removal of Senator Talina Nelson from the oversight chair. DOC Director Tony Lamarena joins Chief of Police J.I. Cruz in calling for Senator Nelson's ouster. Here's more. Just a few days after Chief of Police J.I. Cruz sought Senator Talina Nelson's removal from the chairmanship of the Public Safety Committee, Department of Corrections Director Tony Lamarena is doing the same. His letter says, quote, Senator Nelson has done little but ridicule us, point out what she perceives to be failures, yet has not made any sincere efforts to advocate for our needs as our appropriating member of the legislature, end quote. As a former senator himself, Lamarena pointed to a recent oversight hearing in which he quotes Nelson as saying, let's get to the real reason we are here, without ever acknowledging the hard work of the DOC employees. That controversial oversight hearing, where Lamarena went on a 5-minute-long tirade, was scheduled following the murder of detainee Manson Ernest.
The success of the department is the success of the oversight chair. And, you know, after a year and a half in this position, we feel that we have not been getting the positive response that we expect of an oversight chair.
Lamarena once again boiled it down to funding. I don't think you keep saying that, funding has been an issue, right? Lack of funding, which has contributed to many of the issues at DOC, like the attacks, the recent murder. But hasn't funding always been an issue? Funding, and not only funding, but also the age of the facility. We're constantly on a daily basis in repair. So, you know, when we're underfunded, and then we've lost also 30-plus officers just in the past year, we're unable to fill these positions because of that shortfall in the budget. Under previous chairmanships, funding has always been a problem. In fact, under previous chairmanships, the DOC was still under a consent decree. What makes the current chairperson different from the previous chairperson? Well, the big difference is working with the department. But Senator Nelson defended her chairmanship on News Talk K57 with host Patty Arroyo this morning, implying some of the problems may also stem from leadership concerns, noting that it's clear officers at DOC still need more training.
It's always important to have someone with a criminal justice background at the head so that they understand these operations and the needs of the mission.
Do you think that we have the wrong people in there?
I think, Patty, that with the right training, that they would do an exceptional job.
It's easy to pinpoint issues and concerns, but finding solutions is really what makes leadership even stronger. We found, when I've walked into DOC, I found many problems. In a year and a half, we were able to change the skins on the domes. We've begun the process of renovating. We finished post 7. We're working, or 17. We're on 7 now. Then we're going to work on post 6. So we're making changes. It's not like, DOC is just sitting back. I mean, we're also looking at our policies, what changes we have can be made. We're reevaluating Hagåtña.
You can read Lamorena's letter online at pacificnewscenter.com.
Meanwhile, Senator Talina Nelson wants a Justice Department review of the agency and wrote to Acting U.S. Attorney Sean Anderson to make that request the same day that Lamarena wrote to Speaker Cruz seeking Nelson's removal. DOC Director Lamarena, however, says their facility has been assessed in recent weeks, but it's not clear what prompted that assessment.
We're not saying we're perfect, and so that's why we brought these consultants in, so they can look at our policies, they can look at our procedures, and they can look at our facility, because really the facility makes a big difference on how to best address the situation.
The findings of the report have not been received as the assessment concluded on March 1st after 1 week of looking into the practices and procedures surrounding safety and compliance with PREA standards.
We welcome it. Amazingly enough, about a couple of weeks ago, we had some consultants from the PREA, which is the Prison Rape Enforcement Act. And so we had 2 consultants here on island to work with us.
What he meant to say is the Prison Rape Elimination Act, which is intended to deter the sexual assault of prisoners. As you may recall, in the murder of detainee Manson Ernest, one of the defendants is charged with criminal sexual conduct after he allegedly digitally penetrated Ernest. According to Lamarena, the assessment was at the request of DOC and was made a reality after 8 months of coordination with Hawaii Bureau of Prisons and Department of Justice.
Well, the suspicious package that washed up on the shoreline near Hawaiian Rock has been identified. The U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency has confirmed that 2 packages of suspected cocaine hydrochloride washed up on the shoreline of Hawaiian Rock, prompting the shutdown of the facility on Saturday. According to DEA resident agent in charge, Edward Talbot, the packages contained approximately 4.4 pounds of suspected cocaine, as lab confirmation has not yet been received. Talbot says that he has been told of past instances in which drugs have washed up on Guam shores, and the DEA is, quote, very aware of the maritime distribution efforts and are actively investigating on Guam, Saipan, and the Western Pacific, end quote. He further shares that since Saturday, the DEA continues to search and monitor the area for additional packages to ensure public safety. He also thanks local law enforcement agencies, noting that the local and federal cooperative effort was smooth and worked out well to locate and contain the packages.
An agreement on the mediation protocol to be used in the sexual abuse cases against the Archdiocese of Guam is still on the drawing board, as several modifications have gone back and forth between the parties. But as PNC's Jolene Toves reports, while one group of plaintiffs is still not on board, Archbishop Anthony Aperon is now expressing interest in the mediation. Last Friday, a Vatican tribunal found him guilty of certain accusations stemming from sex abuse claims.
6 months ago, the court had ordered all parties to participate in the mediation process. That includes Archbishop Anthony Aperon. According to his attorney, Jackie Terlahi, she has received the latest version of the mediation protocol and will review it to determine her client's course of action.
So our participation in mediation has always been about cost. That one of the problems that many plaintiffs, small plaintiffs and small defendants have in a large suit like this is simply the cost factor in litigating 160 different cases.
At this point, the court has held a status hearing to deal with the potential issues in the mediation protocol, which governs how the parties will conduct themselves during the mediation. But still debatable is whether or not all parties are in agreement with the mediation protocol. While Anthony Perez's clients and Thomas Brown's client, the Sister of Mercy, are still on the fence, the Archdiocese of Hagåtña is ready to move things forward, and that the door to mediation for Perez's clients is still open.
But that we are fully prepared to have him participate. He's indicated that we would not budge, but I can tell you that we have revised that pre-mediation protocol numerous times, and including last evening, with the other 3 plaintiffs groups. And Mr. Perez has not chosen to participate in those discussions, but I am willing to meet with him. I've told him that. I certainly intend to meet with him in the next 2 weeks to certainly try to work out any differences that he feels are an impediment to his participation in the mediation process.
Perez represents 11 out of the 163 cases before the courts, and in past interviews he has indicated his concern with a globalized settlement, which would leave the victims fighting over money. According to Patterson, while each of the cases will be evaluated on its own terms, their hope is to reach a global resolution.
Each of these cases is an individual case. We will be doing evaluations on each of those cases. We will be providing that to our client and to the insurance carrier for their consideration.
Whether or not all parties get on board with the mediation process will also determine how the court proceeds. At this time, District Court Chief Judge Francis Tidingo Gatewood has provided 2 options. First, that all motions be withdrawn with the exception of Archbishop Anthony Apron's, which has already been heard. If the motions are withdrawn, the parties will be able to refile the motions if the mediation is not completed. The second option is to stay all motions until after the mediation. Meanwhile, Superior Court Judge Michael Berdalio has requested that Attorney Perez file his memorandum to lift the stay in the local level. If the stay is lifted on the local level, then deadlines would be issued in preparation for litigation, which according to Perez would be a good incentive for all parties to agree on the mediation protocol. Reporting for PNC News, I'm Jolene Toves.
Mediation, which was supposed to be held in June, has now tentatively been scheduled for mid-September.
All right, we'll stay right there. We have more News First coming up right after this.
How do you show up?
All right, Olivia, let's go.
Do you just bring it? Or do you bring it all?
Lucas, you gotta go.
Third row like a pro. Step up to GMC with 16% below MSRP on the most popular 2018 Acadia models. That's over $8,100 below MSRP on this all-wheel drive Acadia Denali. Visit AutoSpot GMC today.
How do you turn every day into cash back? With the Bank of Guam Visa credit card, cash back just got better. Get 1.5% cash back every month with every purchase. Every pick-me-up, every filler-up, every Sunday dinner, every four-wheel spinner. Whatever comes to mind, even every stroll in the sweet sunshine. Everything your heart desires turns into 1.5% cash back every month. The Bank of Guam Visa credit card, the everyday card. Apply today. Call, click, or visit. Terms and conditions apply. Bank of Guam, member FDIC.
Wow. Here's an invitation to the whole wide world. From your brother to his sister to your best friend's girl. Don't bring that bad day with ya. Leave it at the door. If you got money in your pocket, it don't mean nothing if you ain't where it is. If you ain't where it is.
Welcome back to News First. Senators Regine Bisco-Lee and Fernando Esteves have introduced 2 separate pieces of legislation that give sales tax exemptions for certain items. Senator Lee introduced Bill 264, or the Working Families Relief Act, yesterday, which would exempt basic necessities like groceries, diapers, medicine, and feminine hygiene products from the new 2% sales tax, which is slated to begin on October 1st. However, slightly before her Bill 264 was introduced, Senator Esteves introduced Bill 263, which also provides some of the same exemptions in Senator Lee's bill, along with other exemptions that aren't in Bill 264.
Mine also has the tax exemption on home purchases under $400,000, or so $400,000 and below, the exemptions to the wholesale industry, the exemptions to casual sales, such as flea markets, online flea markets. We can maybe apply that to food vendors at events as well.
Senator Bisco-Lee introduced her bill as a follow-up to an amendment that she proffered in recent special sessions as tax increases were debated, while Senator Esteves introduced his bill as a follow-up to his Bill 249, which proposed a 2% sales tax, but with these exemptions.
District Court Chief Judge Francis Tadinko Gatewood stopped the new management at the Guam Solid Waste Authority in their tracks following accusations that the federal receiver is withholding information. PNC's Jolene Toves with more.
On Friday, the district court received a 28-page report from the newly hired management team for the Guam Solid Waste Authority. But according to the federal receiver, an initial review of that report revealed, quote, numerous accuracy issues with several numbers in error, end quote. Gershom, Brickner, and Bratton's representative David Manning informed the court that they have yet to meet with the new management to address the inconsistencies, but did share that there are substantial numbers in error in the operations section and some omissions in the report. GSWA General Manager Greg Martin, in explaining their transition action plan, fired back, stating that the federal receiver was only giving what they wanted to give, and that information exchange has not happened to the degree at which they believe it should. The insinuations had Chief Judge Francis Tadinko Gatewood concerned, as it would be grounds to hold the federal receiver in contempt. Determined to get to the bottom of the accusations, Judge Tadinko Gatewood requested for specifics of what information was allegedly being withheld. GSWA Comptroller Enrique Vines responded that 7 out of 13 items pertaining to historical data was not provided by the federal receiver, specifically information regarding reserve bank accounts, customer delinquency rates, GSWA fund balance, GSWA's cash position, savings from e-billing customers, and GovGuam unpaid bills. He pointed out that there is a 6-month gap between June 2017 to October 2017 in financial documentation, which is the primary reason for the information not being provided. However, when Judge Tadinko Gatewood asked if he had followed up with the federal receiver about the missing information, Venus had admitted he had not. In light of this, Gatewood stopped GSWA in their tracks, pointing out that the, quote, accusations are not holding true, end quote. She then ordered the parties to meet and confer, as the situation of contempt presented to the court is not accurate. Reporting for PNC News, I'm Jolene Toves.
In addition to this, Gatewood ordered the federal receiver to provide a transition readiness report indicating how ready the new management team is for transition in June. The report is due on April 20th.
Well, in light of the passage and signing of a 1% increase to the business privilege tax and a 2% sales tax, GDOE Superintendent John Fernandez says he's suspended Phase 2 and 3 of the agency's proposed cuts. GDOE was tasked with cutting $19.6 million from its budget for the rest of the fiscal year. It began by identifying about $12 million in cuts that it began to implement in Phase 1. However, Phase 2 and Phase 3 would have meant closing down some schools, cutting hours, and cutting employees. On March 13th, the Guam Education Board gave Fernandez the authority to begin the furlough process.
We still have to stay with the governor and his team and map out a plan to get from here to the end of the fiscal year. Obviously, the bill didn't give us full relief. It still anticipated some cuts from the government. So we wanted to go and meet with his team, and actually we want to see if we can forego some of the cuts we've already made, maybe target the savings of $9 or $10 million and give us maybe a couple $1 million to restore things like our textbook funds, library funds, and things that I think we wanted to use to support the classrooms.
Fernandez says he hopes to have a better idea of GDOE's finances for the rest of the fiscal year by this Friday.
All right, let's check in now with Joy Atzalig for PNC's Weather Report.
Buenas and Hafide Marianas, Gualsi Joycelyn Athalig, and thank you for joining us here at PNC for your local weather forecast. Brought to you by the Axe Murderer Tours, Burger King, Luxury Nails, and Serendip, the Shawarma Grill. Well, it's been a beautiful Tuesday, a nice and sunny one with no signs of isolated showers that are also on our forecast. We've had great breezy wind speeds from the east-northeast coming in between 15 and 20 miles per hour. This pattern will continue into our Hump Day Wednesday as well as our Thursday, keeping those mostly sunny skies and slight chances of isolated showers on our forecast. Wind speeds will stay within the 15 and 20 mile per hour range for these next 2 days as well. However, shifting more from the east by Thursday. This does explain our heat indexes coming in between 95 and 100 degrees. Such patterns have initiated a high risk of rip currents warning along east-facing reefs for the remainder of the day, as well as a fire weather watch for the entire island that will stay active through tomorrow afternoon. So observe the proper precautions, folks, and stay safe. As always, Don't Lunes Jesus Masi, Zana Dios.
The PNC Weather Report is brought to you by Axe Murderer Tours. Dive or walk the plank. Burger King, be your way. Luxury Nails. And Serendip, the Shawarma Grill.
This is my son, Dylan, and he absolutely loves the beach. It's the only place he can run, scream, dig holes, and be completely himself without the side glances or judgmental comments. You see, Dylan has autism, a neurological disorder most people don't quite understand. Help us change that. Join us on April 7th at the Hyatt Regency Guam for Guam's first Blue Gala, an event geared towards raising funds to further the care and treatment for children just like Dylan, because they deserve it. Love, a mother of a child who is a little different, but not less. The Blue Gala is presented by the Hunter Speaks organization.
Just in time for Lent, it's our delicious Big Fish sandwich. We also offer our veggie burger. Enjoy your Lenten season at Burger King.
Advanced Management does more for you. The AMI experts can find and repair almost any water leak using the latest leak detection equipment. Save money. If you have a leak, call AMI to find it and fix it fast. Advanced Management, doing more for you. 649-6488.
PNC Sports First is brought to you by 76 Circle K.
Hapaday sports fans, Leo Payma, your Guam sports guy, back for another round of PNC Sports First on a Tuesday. Get ready for a brand new fast episode, but first we start with Guam High School Rugby. First Lady Christine Calvo's Regalu Foundation and Custom Fitness hosted the Guam Rugby High School boys and girls all-island select matches at the UOG Rugby Field on Saturday. 3 girls teams, 2 boys teams. In the boys, the Wolfpack shut out the Lion Pride 5-0, and in the girls, it was Korea to pass Hibiscus 26-7. PNC Sports caught up with the boys and the girls high school players of the year winners at the event.
So how does it feel to be a GW Gecko 4 straight years and be a part of this 7th straight title?
It's an honor, like especially the girls who started it. It was an honor to finish my senior year with a 4 straight championship for GW.
I think that we all just kind of work together, trying to just do our best for each other, for the brotherhood, and just putting it all in the field. Jalen, Austin, Brian, Aaron, all those guys, a really big part of my whole sports experience. I love being a part of the FD brotherhood, and I love all my teammates and my brothers.
And once again, sports fans, it's Tuesday, and that means it's time for another brand new Fast, our featured Athlete Sports Talk.
Hapaday, my name is Artie Savoy. I play point guard for the Sanchez Sharks, and I'm a senior, and I'm from the village of Jigo.
Describe yourself in 3 words.
I'm outgoing, friendly, and focused.
Who's your favorite sport personality?
Russell Westbrook.
What do you like about the sport that you're playing?
I love how I get to meet new people on and off the court, the level of competition.
Name the top person that gave you advice in the sport that you're playing now.
My family first, because they win or lose, they love me unconditionally, and my coach because he's always there to help me, get better.
Who's your favorite sports team?
Oklahoma City Thunder. They're just a favorite sports team, like no reason. I don't really watch the NBA.
How do you prepare yourself before a game?
By going over in my head, what we did to focus or to prepare for the team we're gonna play, and yeah, just staying focused.
How do you handle winning or losing a game?
Win or lose is always, you know, staying mentally focused on getting better.
What is your advice to up-and-coming athletes?
Have fun, you know, get better, but don't forget to have fun and mentally and physically get better. Spaghetti, blue, apple, Dwayne The Rock Johnson, NBA 2K18, sports attire, cousin Jovi, yeah, that's my favorite relative. Outrigger, the beach, where I'm always at almost every day.
Fast is brought to you by 76 Circle K.
And finally, in bowling news, Brian Manabusan defeated second seed Aaron Elliott 207-171 to win the Pinpoint Guam King of the Lanes Throne, stamping this ticket this year to the N Finals. And Naya Taimalo duplicated her efforts from the previous month's Prince title as she rolled past second seed Jacelyn Espiritu. And that's going to take care of your Tuesday sports. Thanks again for watching. For PNC Sports First, I'm Leo Payumo. Good night.
PNC Sports First is brought to you by 76 Circle K.
Binging movies in bed shouldn't make you want to hide under the covers when the bill arrives. That's why all of GTA's home internet plans are unlimited. We believe that you deserve better than home internet with hidden data fees, because you should be able to cuddle without worrying about bill trouble. So the choice is yours. Bill shock with the other guys, or a life unlimited with GTA. Say goodbye to hidden data fees and make the switch today to GTA. Your island, your network.
Still on the hunt for the golden egg? At Pat's Tinting and Detailing, you'll come out shining brighter than 24-karat gold with the Easter Tinting Special for $99 with tint removal, free mini detail, and a free car freshener. Detailing specials, $169 for small cars and trucks, $179 for minivans and full-size trucks, $189 for vans. It includes free headlight restoration, carpet protection, and wax. Call Pat's today at 647-7526. Happy Easter from Pat's Tinting and Detailing.
And welcome back to this week's Community Calendar with me, Ayana Shed. In celebration of World Down Syndrome Day, next week I have some events for you to check out, so stay tuned. First up on the calendar, on Wednesday, March 21st, the Down Syndrome Association of Guam joins the world in celebrating World Down Syndrome Day, a day to raise awareness about Down syndrome and create a single voice for advocating for the rights, inclusion, and well-being of individuals with Down syndrome. To commemorate World Down Syndrome Day on March 21st, the Down Syndrome Association of Guam will celebrate with a special Mass at St. Jude Church in Sinahanya at 7 p.m. Events will continue with the unveiling of the Joy and Inspiration photo exhibit showcasing children and adults with Down syndrome, taking place on Saturday, March 24th at 6 p.m. at the Guam Premier Outlets. The exhibit will remain open through March 31st, and an open invitation is extended to the public. For more information, please contact Nakrina Mendiola at nakrina.mendiola@gmail.com or 480-0005. Following this event, the Guam Community College Office of Accommodative Services is co-sponsoring 2 training sessions on Wednesday, March 21st. Session 1, entitled Persons with Disabilities, How to Write a Master Job Application, will begin at 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. in the GCC Multipurpose Auditorium. This session will partner with Pacific Human Resources Services to train persons with disabilities on how to write a master job application. This training is geared for persons with disabilities who want to learn how to write and maintain a master job application. This training is free and open to all persons with disabilities. GCC's Accommodative Services Office and PHRS highly encourage high school transition team members, CRTs, counselors, parents of students with disabilities advocates, and service providers to attend this session. Session 2 is entitled Programs to Help Crime Victims and will be from 2 p.m. to 3:15 p.m. in the GCC MPA.
If you have been a victim of a crime, help is out there. This presentation is open to all students and employees from GCC, the University of Guam, Guam Contractors Association Trades Academy, service providers, and the general public. Please email or call Mr. John Payne at the GCC Accommodative Services Office if you are interested and plan on attending either of these events at 735-5597 or john.payne2@guamgcc.edu. And that's a wrap for this week's community calendar. If you have an event that you would like us to feature, email us at news@k57.com. See you all again next week.
All right, that's it for News First. From all of us here at PNC, thanks for watching. Stay Maulig.
And have a good night.